Good evening, everyone. It's Steve, CH1-CH5, JUF. Hope everyone's having a good evening there. Trying to get the camera set up a little bit here. So what we're going to talk about today is a video I've made in the past, and this is a redo, and the video actually covers memory banks. There's actually 5 individual channels, and each channel has a maximum recording time of roughly about 20 seconds. And what this allows you to do is this allows you to pre-program CQ calls, or is the frequency used, and those types of calls. So what we're going to do today, we're going to kind of go over this material again, but there's a couple of things that we initially had in the first video, and that was when we made our pre-recorded messages, the audio coming out of the radio was extremely loud, and it actually, some of the folks wearing headphones it blew out their eardrums for a short period of time, and sorry about that. So we continued to dig, I continued to dig, and I found there was actually 2 additional settings that we have that I didn't know about at the time I made the video. And those 2 settings, one of them actually controls the output level, which goes to the radio speaker on top of the radio, and the other one actually controls the recording level to the amplifier. So this is going to be, we have to set these after we make the recordings, or you can set them beforehand if you want to, but we'll set it afterwards. That way you can kind of hear the before and after effects. Now, a couple of keys here. The default is 50 on this one. I found 25 works really well, and I found here on this one the default is 50 for setting number see that setting number 11, and I found 30 works pretty good. So we have to set these and then test them. So we set them, play it back, and see what it sounds like. If it doesn't sound right, we lower it a little bit more, and the same thing on the signal to the amplifier. So, all right, let's jump over the radio, and we'll get busy here. All right, there we are. We're on the radio now. So what we'll do first is we'll go ahead and program in 2 different memory channels or memory recordings. So to do that, to get started, the first thing we'll do is we'll verify that we have our processor turned on, and we do. It's set to 17, and that's usually a pretty good number. Then we want to make sure that we have the microphone equalizer on, and we're good to go. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure this back end here is turned off, so we are not transmitting when we're actually making the recordings. So we'll turn that off, so we're good to go. Clear that real quick. Now what we'll do is we'll scroll over to this tab right here, and what we're going to do is to record memory channel 1. We're going to touch memory, and in channel 1, now what will happen is the record light's going to come on. Okay. Now the microphone I'm using is the M100 with the single sideband diesel. Now what's going to happen is when I key up on the radio, it's going to start recording when I press the PTT. It's going to start recording. Now when I'm done, when I release the PTT, what I need to do immediately is I need to press the memory button to save the recording. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that. Pressing the PTT. This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact. Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact. Alright, now, should be good to go.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact. Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact. Alright, now, should be good to go.
You know what I did? I didn't press the memory button fast enough. So we'll get a do-over. Memory, press channel 1, pressing the PTT. This is Kilo India 5. Hold on here. Sorry. What we'll do is we'll press memory, and channel 1, the red light's flashing, that's important. This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact. Now we stop the recording.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
Okay, that's we're going to fix that in a minute there. Now we're going to do channel number 2, memory, and channel 2. This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact. Let's erase that one, that should have been 6 meters. So what we'll do is we'll press memory again, channel 2. When I press the PTT, the record light will turn off or turn on. This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 6 meter and listening for a contact. Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 6 meter and listening for a contact. Okay, that one's recorded. Let's do one more. Let's do is the frequency in use on this one. Pressing the PTT. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? So now we have 3 recordings. They're going to be loud.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to fix that audio problem. So what we're going to do to fix that is we are going to go to our menu, and we're going to go to number 10, which controls the audio speaker. You notice it's 68, so that's why it's so loud. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press select, and I'm going to turn this down to 30. I think, what was my setting? I think 25 was what worked pretty good. Now when I press enter, now we have that set. So let's listen to it again.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
Okay, now what we want to do is we want to set the compressor, and this is the actual signal going actually to the radio. So now what we have to do is we have to go over here, we have to turn our back end on. This way we're actually transmitting, and I am transmitting into a dummy load. So now what we're going to do is we're going to press this until compressor shows up. There's compressor. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to play it. Since I have the back end on, now we will be transmitting, and I am transmitting into a dummy load. So let's play the audio for channel 1. And it's probably going to be extremely loud because I've got the setting up to 65.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
Okay, so we're way off the chart there. So we're going to fix that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to that second setting, number 11. Now it's at 63. The default is 50, so we're going to turn this one down to about 25. And let's see how that looks on the compressor.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
That's much better, but let's see if we can turn it down some more.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
Guess what? We're not distorting. Did you hear the distortion earlier? It was really bad. It's actually, that's very, very nice and clean.
Or turn on. This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 6 meter and listening for a contact. Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 6 meter and listening for a contact.
Sorry about that. Doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound good?
Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use?
That's absolutely perfect. We're going to turn it up just a hair. We probably could go up to maybe 20. Oops. Oops. I'm on the wrong one. Okay, there we go, we're at 15. Let's turn that up. We could probably go to about 19.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
Doesn't that sound good? That's how you sound on the air right there. Nice and clean, no distortion. Audio is very nice and clean.
Or turn on. This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 6 meter and listening for a contact. Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 6 meter and listening for a contact.
Now let me show you what that, when you're overdriving this, watch this. I'm going to turn this way up, and it's going to be loud, so please put on your headphones and notice the distortion that you hear. It's going to be loud.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
Yeah, there's some distortion. I think you're actually listening to the audio, but the problem is that swinging all the way up, that is just total distortion. And I don't think you're actually hearing it because we're on the upside of the amplifier, so that wasn't a good example. But we'll turn it back down. We'll just go with 20.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet, Uniform Foxtrot, calling CQ 10 meter and listening for a contact.
Yeah, that looks good, that looks good. So, very good. So, again, the additional things I added on this video were how to control the audio speaker audio level coming out of the radio, and also the audio level going into the initial amplifier, so we're not overdriving it. So I was incorrect earlier. What we were hearing here is the true audio signal. However, when that compressor was going all the way up to 10 and 15 to 20 dB, that's just total distortion on the other side of the amplifier because it can't process that overdriving. So anyway, well, that's this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this was a retread of another video that we did, and we learned some new information, and I just wanted to kind of make sure everybody knew the updates and stuff that we learned. So anyway, this is Steve KI5JUF. Everyone have a good evening and have a good week, and we'll talk to you again in 73, and thanks for watching.